What is up, guys, and welcome back to Adventure Archaeology. If you're new here, my name is Brandon. Today we're going to be doing some metal detecting and exploring. I can't wait to show you all the sites that we have lined up. The first site I'm actually at right now, you can see right here over my shoulder, that is an old coke oven. We are in Tuscaloosa County, Alabama today, so we're in a different region of the state than we typically hunt, so I'm excited to take a look around here and see what we can come up with. The second spot that we're going to be headed to, I'm going to be meeting my wife, and we're going to be checking out an 1870s to 1920s train dump. Except we're not going to be digging for bottles. We're going to be metal detecting to see if there are any relics left inside of the dump. So one of the main reasons I wanted to film this coke oven site is because it's actually a little bit different than the other ones that we filmed in the past. Some of these are a good bit smaller than ones that we've looked at in previous videos. If you look inside of there though, you can see that it's intact and it looks pretty good, and I'm hoping that I don't run into some kind of animal in here today, as I am solo until I meet up with my wife a little bit later. As you walk down this face, or this bank that's to our left, it is lined with tons of coke ovens. The rocks that you see that are right here in front of it would have surrounded the entire outcropping of this entire bank of coke ovens. With time, they have been raided or used in other areas, or they have just crumbled and fell to the bottom, like you can see right down there. This is a really cool site though. It was probably used, if my research is correct, from about the 1890s into around the 1920s. So there again, we're looking at about a 30-year span. These workers were probably not the best paid workers, so I don't think that they would have had a ton of change or anything to fall out of their pocket. I could be wrong. It may be worth metal detecting. We'll just have to see. I wanted to get a lay of the land today though, and see what it looked like. If you look right over here, directly across from it and running parallel with the coke ovens is what looks like a stream, and that is not what that is. That's actually where the railway would have ran. So this railway would have had either a small gauge or a large gauge rail, more than likely small, and they would have backed train cars up in here. Those train cars would have then been loaded with either coal or coke. So if they would have brought the coal in, the coal would have went inside of the ovens, where it would have been cooked at an outrageous temperature and turned into a finer burning fuel called coke. So no, we're not talking about cocaine. No, we're not talking about Coca-Cola. We're talking about coke that is used in the steel industry. That right there is just an awesome sight, to see that tree growing right out of the front of the coke oven right here. Absolutely astounding picture. I'm gonna have to take a couple of shots. And if you see the light coming through right up there, that would have been like the chimney or the vent that would have let some of the heat out. And I'm definitely gonna have to take a couple of pictures of this. Absolutely amazing spot. I did tell my wife though, I'm not gonna swing the detector here without her. So I think we're about to go ahead and head right on down the road and meet up with her and go over to the train station dump. As we're headed to the second location, y'all please be sure to welcome my wife back in the comments below. This is the first time back out with us since she broke her ankle as well as had surgery. This is a really neat spot, and I'm hoping that we're gonna find something pretty cool. So this is the first spot right here, and what tells you right out of the gate that you're in a good area is the oyster shells that are on top of the ground. That's usually a sign of a really good dump. And you may say, well, Brandon, so is all of the glass. And that's true. Here is a mug base to a hutch laying right there on top of the ground. This was a surface dump that we are fairly certain was used by the railroad, because most of the bottles here are from Nashville, Tennessee, and we're close to the Nashville rail line. My very first target was on top of the ground with the metal detector. We are using the Garrett AT Max today. The first find was this huge nut right here, and this almost looks like this could have been to a wagon wheel. Of course, it was a banging signal being on the surface and being large. However, we're hopeful that that's not going to be the only target today. We're hoping that there may be some tokens or coins, or you never know what may have been thrown out on accident. Take a look at that whiskey top. You can tell that this stuff was on the surface because that would have been clear, and it is purple now from being exposed to the sunlight. That looks like some kind of maybe sauce bottle top, bottom to an old beer. Here's an old mason jar, whiskey flask top, just to give you an idea of the age stuff that we're looking at. And there's a lot older stuff right over there that we're gonna go look at in just a second. But we're gonna metal detect this entire hillside for a couple of reasons. Like I said, looking for the coins, looking for the tokens, but we're also going to see if possibly there's another surface dump right up here someplace that we may have missed, and hopefully the detector will sniff out some of the iron and trash there, and we might find some more bottles. All right, check this out right here. Here's the kind of signals we're looking for. Very high into the 80s and 90s. Seems a little bit bigger than a coin. However, it could be a really cool brass object. So we're gonna dig it up and see what it is. All right, guys, here you go. Check out that little find. At first I thought it was a clip of some kind, but that looks like a keyhole up there.
I think it may have went to a jewelry box or something.
Yeah, you're probably right. That may have something stamped on it someplace. I don't know. It doesn't. It looks like the right age period though, because it looks like a skeleton keyhole. Who knows? If y'all know what it is, drop in the comments below. So obviously there's going to be a lot of iron signals in this dump, but here's some of what the bottles would look like. Check out that beautiful blue Nashville, Tennessee bottle. Man, I wish that would have been whole. This gives you an idea of the age stuff that we're dealing with here. If that was a jewelry box keyhole that we just found, there could be gold rings. It could still be a buckle. I don't know. There's another Nashville bottle. This is why we're pretty sure that this is a railroad dump, because the Nashville line is close by and there's no local bottles here hardly. So there's a lot of good stuff. The signals are kind of few and far between, but you never know when you're gonna find something good. So we're really taking our time today. There's a bone. I wonder what kind of bone that is. More oyster shells. Look at all the glass. I mean, just tons and tons of it. This is an almost whole beer. And that's an oldie. You can tell by the top up there. Got another good signal?
Yeah.
That's right close to where we were a second ago. I'm gonna come over there and find it. All right, this is the next interesting find. This is going to be a pocket watch piece. I'm quite positive. Let's give it an old wipe on the pants and see if it's got any identifying marks on it. Like the watchmaker.
What's that?
It does look like it's got something on it. I don't know, we'll have to clean that one up a little bit more.
Toothbrush it.
Yep, that's cool though. We're finding the relics, guys. That means that there definitely could be some coins out here. My wife's on a roll for the relics. That is a nice buckle, it looks like. It could be a handle. It's hard to say. It is iron, it's not brass, but it definitely put off a good enough signal that we chased it. That's pretty cool, and I would say it's definitely time period for what we want to be finding here. I don't know, if you know what it is exactly, whether it's a handle or buckle, drop it in the comments below. And a harmonica reed piece. This one's very, very brittle though, and the holes are a little bit clogged with dirt that would have been there. At first I thought I saw something on it, writing wise, but it just snapped right in half whenever I was trying to wipe it off. Gonna put it in the pouch though, we're gonna take it with us. Might clean it up, you never know when you'll get something off of it that'll tell you exactly how old it is. So she got a signal right down here. It was jumping a little bit, and it's probably this piece of metal that you see because it was big, but as we were digging it out, there was a ball jar piece. So who knows, maybe it's a ball jar full of coins.
Yep.
If only, if only. Lots of interesting glass in there though.
Let me run over to go move that metal.
All right, there's a medicine top in there, almost like a 3-in-1 oil.
No, it's still there.
I think it's more, yeah, I think it's another piece of that tin. You can tell how scratchy the signal is, but we're digging almost everything out here because of the potential. And I'm not for sure, but this was right where the ball jar was. That could be another piece of that pocket watch bezel, which is interesting. And as shiny as it is, it could be silver.
Let's see. I'm a good silver detector. Dude,
Man,
that is silver.
Honestly, I think that is silver. And I think it is a pocket watch. You see the hole right there in the top? That's where the winder would have been. Now let's see if that other piece matches it. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Because we found that.
So awesome. But I think that piece is bigger.
Set the stuff
I
down.
might be wrong, but I think that is silver.
It sure looks like
That is silver.
Let's see. I don't know. That's the same diameter. We're about 15 foot from where we found that piece.
It does fit. It could fit on the back.
That's
That's
cool.
where the glass would go.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's tight.
Now if we can just find the winder mechanism in the faceplate.
Let me run over this hole again. Move out my way.
She's in a hurry. Got a big iron signal. Here's a hinge with screws in it. So that's not quite as old However, it's at least 100 years old. So, man, if we could just find one silver coin, I would feel real good about today. Heck, I'd take an Indian head penny. This was pretty much a surface find. I kicked the leaves back and it was right on top. It's reading up in the 50s. I knew it was a little bit bigger, but I was kind of wondering if it was going to be a buckle or a button. But it's the top to probably a powder container. You can see the top where you could adjust the amount of holes that were open to shake the contents out. So that's pretty cool. Let's keep it going. So we went a few minutes without having a good signal, and then all of a sudden I got a pretty decent one. And this right here could be a couple of things. It looks like a winder of some sort, but it could be the side to like a sardine rollback can too. I don't think it is. Looks too big.
I think it goes to like a clock or a toy, maybe.
Maybe so. Definitely interesting.
You know why? Because look at the hole in here. It had to grab a hold of something to twist it.
And it had like a pilot hole for that
Yeah.
other piece to go in. I don't know. Lots of little interesting relics out here, that's for sure. Another huge iron relic that we just pulled out. This thing is heavy. I don't know what that was for.
Yeah.
Looks like you would have drove it into the ground to hold something down. If y'all know what it is, let me know. I know I'm asking that a lot in this video, but a lot of these rusty relics are hard to know what they were 120 to 150 years ago. So we dug up an angel, quite literally.
I don't know what it was. It was like that had something.
Sadly,
like a
its
pin.
wing is broken off, but you can tell that we didn't do it. There's the wing. We found the wing first. It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So the wing would have went like that.
Wasn't it? No, something like that.
Other way.
I don't know. But I thought that was silver at first.
I did too. I don't think it is. I think it's plated.
Yeah.
Could be like plated lead almost, as heavy as it is. I mean, it is heavy, guys.
It is very heavy. Look, there's the where it would attached.
I have to clean that up a little bit. That's like a really cool find right there. That might be the find of the day. Guys, we had a good time out today. That angel right there is going to be the find of the day. I hate that the wing was broken on it, and that was the very first piece that we found, but that just shows you why you always recheck your hole, because the rest of it was in there. You can tell it had been broken for a very long period of time. It's not something we did with a shovel, but I am glad that we were able to recover it. It almost feels like it's made out of lead, which is interesting, and it was mounted on something. You can tell by looking at it. I just don't know what it went to. I did clean it off, as well as this pocket watch and the bezel, and that's interesting because we found that about 5 foot apart from each other, maybe a little bit further. And this awesome little piece over here, I still don't know if that could have been like a part to a buckle, if it was a keyhole. I have no idea. Still a really cool piece. Sadly, there were no identifying marks on any of it, so there's no way to be able to tell. If y'all enjoyed the adventure today, please be sure that you're subscribed, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.